Hello, everyone. My name is Scott Wilhite. I want to make a quick, sorry, my dog gets neurotic whenever I start talking or giving anybody attention other than him. But I wanted to give a quick update on, or clarification on a couple of things, like the truth, and that I'm telling the truth, and that I don't have anything to hide. And there is somebody's hedging on something that I want to get some information out there into the public domain to make sure that there's no confusion. So I'm not the only one who has video of this, and I don't think everybody knows this. One group does, and and that group I would like to bring their attention to, just in case they care. There's some Easter eggs in this situation. So I would, and this is going to be kind of cryptic for everyone who doesn't realize what this is, but a hearing on September 30th, 2008, transcript. I'm not even going to say that. Say the scribe's name, but the transcript from September 30th, line 18. Okay, for what were those? 19, again related. So on line 18, that's a lie. It's an intentional lie that just doesn't make any sense. And I knew it was a lie the second he said it. And I'm not even going to say who it is, because if this gets to the right person, they'll know what I'm talking about. You'll have to order the transcript. But the person that this affiant is talking about was not what he says online. She was not, but he alleges on line 19. And because of the type of hearing this is, and depending on who may see this, and AUSA would understand this, that kind of hearing is sort of a wild, wild west. You could lie as much as a P. Diddy freak off and get away with it. Everybody knows that, so this is no secret. This was a lie, and it was a blatant lie. And in these types of hearings, there's only... You can lie in those hearings as the person who's giving the testimony because there's a lot of leeway, hearsay leeway. But the person who's making this statement can't lie about one or two or three things, which are the kind of core things that a magistrate's going to look at in order to make their decision. And in this case, this lie is a reversible lie. I knew it, and I told my attorney immediately, several times. He ignored it. There's documentation of this. But it's one of those things where an officer of the court, even at that kind of detached, indirect level, has an obligation to not lie about that. And if it's determined, it's reversible. There are a myriad of things that can be entered as hearsay in this type of a hearing that, if it's found out to be incorrect later, it didn't really make a hill of beans. There's nothing reversible. It's kind of harmless error. This is reversible error, and I knew that the second it happened. And out of everything in this transcript, this is one of the two or three things that the magistrate cares about. But you don't need what I'm saying to prove this. This is one of the things I've known about for 20 years. You don't need what I'm telling you. There's the transcript. You can read that. You can see what he says. But the individual that he's talking about, the one I was with, you can go and check their, whatever it is that you check to prove that that's a lie or not. That's one thing. And that's the thing that person is supposed to have done before he swears to it under oath. And this is one of yours. He's retired now, I think. But this is, and I'm getting to that. But how I knew it was a lie was because the 3 or 4 days before that, I'm standing next to him, the guy who said this, and the Garland guy outside the Garland Police Department about 7 a.m. So it's me, the guy here testifying, and a Garland guy. And your guy asked the Garland guy, what was she, why was she what he says that she was here? And the Garland guy says, he says, a unpaid ticket, which is true. And that you can look up. You don't need what I'm saying. And that was 3 days before your guy says this under oath in front of the magistrate. So why did he do that? Now, is he just protecting the ranger? Or is he doing sort of a favor for the ranger? Or is it Dusty? It would be conspiratorial to think that he's protecting Dusty because he knows what's going on. But this happened, and it's in your domain. And it's serious. I got very pissed off at my attorney, who's since deceased. That's how long ago it's been. Yeah, he didn't care. So go check the transcript from the hearing on the 30th. Look at line, I'm sorry, not line 19 on page 21. 18, question, okay, for what were those? 19, answer, again, related. No, it wasn't related. Speeding ticket. Because if it's a speeding ticket, I have a different outcome. Because that answer right there is what determines the hearing, the decision. Why? I know cops lie, but do FBI agents lie under oath? For a former disgraced ranger that he really probably doesn't know, so he doesn't know that story? Or is it for Dusty? Again, it'd be conspiratorial. I think it's for Dusty, but that's why I'm offering $250,000. Because if it is that fucking crazy, it'll be a whacked out story, wouldn't it? All right. Next thing, a couple of more Easter eggs. Again, this is based on the knowledge that somebody else involved here is hedging on whether or not you have the same videotape or the same video that I have, and you do. So June 14th, 2006, specifically, 1:39 a.m. Dusty, I want you to, ... She says that in our exchange on the bed. This bed. Notice the yellow circle. No, I took the yellow circle off. Notice the green bed. And that bed is, there's a story behind why that bed is there and not backed up to the window. Yeah. So 1:39 a.m., June 14th, 2006, Dusty, I want you to, she's saying this to me in a hushed tone. Me. Why else would you, this is all at 1:39, why else would you, ... You'll have to listen to the tape. I don't want to give away, I'm not trying to embarrass someone, I'm trying to solve a crime. I'm trying to make Rockwall safer. Okay. 1:39, Dusty, I want you to, me, why else would you, Dusty, why else what? Me, why else do you want, and then I say 3 more words, and this is still 1:39. And then at exactly 1:40 a.m., who said, so we can, who says that? Okay, May 21st, 2006, 4:05 and 30 seconds. Who's Dusty flipping off? May 21st, 2006, 4:31 and 50 seconds a.m. Did Dusty suddenly become a comrade? Did she join the Black Panthers? Or is she telling someone to hold up, don't move? And then at 4:32:05 seconds on May 21st, 2006. Remember, this is at 4:31:50. And then at 4:32:05, what's that behind my head? What wave's behind my head? I know you can't get a fingerprint off that finger that's on that thing, but what's behind my head? Who's holding it? That's 432.05. And then at 4:33:20, when we've moved from that room to the other room, what did I do right after I said, wow, what was that? And then Dusty says, you didn't hear anything. Well, I'm a liberal, and that right there proves it. And you've got the video. Remember, this channel is about understanding what consent is. And what I just explained is very cryptic. I know that. In fact, the transcript that I just pulled from is just full of lies. It's just, I'm 60 years old. I had never had any brush with law enforcement until I was around Dusty. And she knew the Rockwall County District Attorney. And she may have known the FBI agent. I'm not going to say his name, but I don't have any. He lied. And you can prove it just by looking. The only thing you would take my word on is the part about what the Garland guy said that morning as I'm standing there with him and your guy. And your guy says, why was she that? And he said, parking ticket. So 3 days or 4 days later, standing in that hearing on the 30th of September, I already knew what that Garland guy had said to your guy. So, yeah, there's me telling you that. All that does is make his lie willful. Because what he could say is, well, I just, got confused. I'm giving you the whole goddamn transcript. You read the whole fucking thing. You can read the whole page, whatever page that was. See it for yourself. It wasn't out of context. He knew, I'm assuming that those guys at that agency know the keywords on the very specific elements of what's required in a hearing like that in order to get what they want. So that's out of, it's this thick. There are, it's 100, I don't know how many pages. I may have printed it twice, but it was a lot. It was it's that kind of a hearing. There was a lot of, how transcripts are. So it's the jewel. It's the pearl. It's the pearl. I'm giving you pearls here. That's a pearl. I'm narrowing it down for you, because I'm trying to. I want all the law enforcement friends I can get. I'm trying to help y'all out. So those are that, and dig into your archive to the video and look at those just to start with. Because it's only one instance of a weapon. There's another 9 with it. It's there. All right. Peace out.